Hi, I'm Jimmy. In this video, we're looking at the top 3 dividend stocks that I could find. Now, these aren't necessarily the best dividend companies or the highest flying dividend companies. I'm looking for diversifying dividend companies. Companies that pay some dividend that look like they could be diversifiers for my personal investment portfolio. Now, if you like any of these companies and you want us to do a deeper dive, please let me know in the comments below. If you know of a better dividend stock than what you see in this video, please let me know in the comments below, and we could at least take a quick look at them and see what we can come up with. The goal is find dividend companies that could help diversify the portfolio, because if the market does have a pullback, oftentimes dividend stocks perform better than companies that don't pay a dividend. And right now, I'm highly invested in companies that don't pay a dividend. So any dividend ideas, comments below. Okay, so our first company is Abbott Laboratories. So Abbott Laboratories, when we land on the summary page here, this is all, by the way, all done on the Investors Grow website. If you're curious to sign up to get access to that, link in the description below. But we can see down at the bottom here, we got 2, 3, and 2 stars. Basically, it's how strong are the financial statements. And overall, they're fairly good. We are going to look a bit at their balance sheet. A lot of their debt, you can see they have more debt than cash, but a lot of there's some developments with this company. But either way, when we look at the other 2, they're getting 2 out of 3 stars, so it looks fairly good right now. That's a decent level to be at. As you can see, we classify them as fair, so they got a fairly decent financial statement setup. All right, now let's jump over to the fair value section. So first, I'm going to use forward PE here. And forward PE, we could see on a longer term chart, it's kind of this huge hump in the beginning that makes things a little bit difficult to really see where the current level is. So when we zoom in a bit, I'll switch you over to a 5-year chart. Well, now we can see it does look like it's on the low end of the range for the past 5 years. So from a value perspective, decent. Okay, now let's jump over to the dividends page. So on the dividends page, first we can see that they pay a dividend yield of just short of 3%. So not too bad. Looking at their dividend chart, we can see it has increased over the past few years. Again, that's ideally what I'm looking for. I'm looking for dividends that have gradually increased. I don't want the dividend yield to be outrageous, but I want it to be steady, and I want them to be able to cover it. Now, up at the top here, you can see we got this sort of scoring system. Ideally, what we end up with is you want each of these numbers to be green. The shareholder yield is really the culmination of the other 3 numbers. Dividend yield, that means that's good. Their dividend is gradually increasing. We can see that better on the chart below. Buyback yield implies that they've been buying back some shares. This tends to be a good sign for value investors or for long-term buy and hold investors. Now, ideally, this debt paydown yield, you want that to be positive. That number would be negative. In this case, quite negative. That number turns negative when they issue debt. Now, we can see that better if we jump over to the financial statement. On the summary page, I'm going to scroll down and look at short and long-term debt. Really, we could just look at long-term debt because that's where the debt is. And we can see that in the most recent quarter, their debt jumped by about $20 billion. Now, this tends to be fairly unusual. So when I was setting up for this video and I was digging into it, I was like, well, what happened? Well, a little bit of searching when I was looking through their financial statements. Turns out that they made an acquisition of a company called Exact Sciences. And that they had to take out the debt. They were paying them cash, so they took out $20 billion in debt to get the cash to pay off some of Exact Sciences' debt, and they took it in long-term debt. So in theory, they have a while to try to start paying that off, and hopefully Exact Sciences will help improve their business. So at first glance, this looks like a company that could be an interesting one to do a deep dive on. Okay, the next company we're looking at is the Cintas Corporation. So Cintas, first thing, down at the bottom, financial statements look fairly good. They got 2 3s and 1 2. So overall, I'm fairly happy with that. When we jump over and look at the fair value, this one does look like it's a bit overvalued. Now, that doesn't necessarily turn me off from researching the company right now. Sometimes I think it's good to find these companies. And then if you get a pullback in the stock, you could stick it in your bullpen, you get a pullback, could be a good opportunity to buy it. But I like to have the research already done. Now, using discounted free cash flow, you can see that going out the next 10 years using analyst estimates and a few years of calculated estimates, well, we could see that the stock looks like it's a bit overvalued at this point. Jumping over to look at their dividend yield's only about 1%, but this company is impressive because they appear to have very, very durable revenue, durable net income. Their numbers have consistently gone up. And the little research that I did on this company, does look like the company could be a fairly steady grower for a long period of time. They have been for a long period of time. Now, going back to the dividends real quick, well, we could see that for a while. It looks like they dropped their dividend, but they were in fact paying an annual dividend. Once a year, they were paying a dividend, and then they switched that over to quarterly, which is why we see what appears to be a big drop-off, but then they're more consistent. This chart is obviously based on time. So the closer they are together, the more often they pay those dividends. Then when we look at the numbers at the top, overall, we have a positive shareholder yield of about 2.5%, and they've done a decent job of holding their dividend steady, paying back some debt. They have issued a little bit of debt, but it didn't go anywhere near like what we saw with Abbott Laboratories. So again, this could be an interesting one to help diversify our portfolio a bit. Okay, our next dividend stock is Roper Technologies, ticker symbol ROP. First glance, we can see here we got 2, 2, and 3 from a star system standpoint, so we're off to a decent start. Now, this company's been getting killed over the past year, so when we jump over to the fair value section, well, right away we can see that forward PE looks relatively low. It's on the low end of its 10-year range, so that's a good sign. When we look at the discount of free cash flow using just analyst estimates going out the next few years, again, the stock looks like it could be a bit undervalued right now. This is one of those that could be worth a deeper dive. The stock is down huge, but I couldn't find a lot of viable reasons as to why that was, outside of, software and AI and that whole problem. But they seem to be in a niche business that perhaps could be a bit more defended than perhaps it's a bit oversold. But again, that would take a deeper dive to truly understand. Then when we jump over to their dividend page, well, once again, zooming in on the dividend chart here, we can see that the dividend chart has consistently increased over the past few years. So clearly, the dividend is doing fairly well, although we can see with our negative debt paydown number that right away, if nothing else, we know that they've been gradually increasing debt, and that has been true. Now, with their debt, well, when I dug into their debt a little bit, it's a little bit different than what we saw with a company like Abbott Laboratories, which was clearly doing it for an acquisition. They have made some smaller acquisitions, but they've had a lot of sort of movement of money. They, paid off some old debt with some new debt. They added some revolving line of credit to some short-term debt from new debt, but the debt has inched up, and that is something we want to be aware of. So if we decide to do a deeper dive on this one, because again, it does look undervalued, the debt is a place I'll focus on for at least a bit when we do that research. So those are the 3 ones that I'm most interested in. If you're curious, here's a couple other ones that I thought were interesting. Some of them have a bit higher dividend yield. If you're curious, if you want me to dive into any of those either, please let me know in the comments below. I tried to make this a quick video, but give us some of the important numbers. Using, again, the Investors Grow website. That's one of the goals of the Investors Grow website is we want to make it easier to point out red flags so we as investors, as long-term investors, can try to avoid some bigger mistakes if possible. If the website can try to point those out for us quicker and easier, that's a good situation, I think, to help us avoid making any big mistakes. So again, if you want to sign up to get access to that, I'll leave a link right here, link in the description below. Thank you so much for sticking with me all the way to the end of the video. I really do appreciate it. Thank you, and I'll see you in the next video.